Hello, welcome back to the Clandestine podcast. It's me, Gabriel. How's it going?
It's going good.
Yeah?
I'm Olivia.
Yes, you are. Fancy to see you here.
Yeah.
So eerie, mysterious, really.
Whatever you say.
It's you, man. Excited to hear it. I've been craving. Now I crave the true crime every week.
Okay, so I'm gonna just jump right in, but I do want to give a little preface to why I chose this case. A guilty pleasure of mine is YouTube drama, and
So I've heard.
we are thinking about starting a series of me telling him the YouTube drama.
Yeah.
That's kind of a thing that might happen in the future. If anybody knows anything about YouTube drama, there's this YouTuber named Gabe Hannah who's like really in a lot of drama right now. And part of the drama tangentially had to do with the tragic murder of a teenager. What happened was... Here, let me explain.
Okay.
Because it's not as crazy as it sounds.
It sounds pretty crazy.
She was making a YouTube video. Gabby Hannah was making a YouTube video, and she was like screen sharing. And on her screen, there was an article of what we're going to talk about today, and it showed the girl's picture and everything, or something like that. And then it became this big drama. Anyways, it snowballed out of control. Gabby Hannah, she is despicable for bringing this up continuously because she's using it as like a ploy in her game. It's just long and complicated, and it really made me want to cover this story because I want to bring people back to what's really important when we talk about Bianca Devins, and that's who she was. We're going to talk about her story and the tragic events that happened to her, but we're also going to talk about her as a person, because she was a person.
Yeah.
And she's not a pawn in YouTube drama. Bianca Devins was born October 2nd, 2001 in New Hartford, New York, to her dad and her mother, Kim. She was not close with her father, and her mother has described him as, quote, emotionally abusive. She grew up in Utica, New York with a younger sister, whose name I'm not going to say because she's a minor. Unfortunately, throughout her life, Bianca suffered from a myriad of mental illnesses, such as depression, anxiety, PTSD, BPD, and expressed intentions of self-harm, suicidal ideation, that kind of thing.
Jeez.
For this reason, she was placed under intense psychiatric care and stayed at an inpatient mental health treatment facility for 5 months from October 2018 to February 2019. She was really passionate about helping people with mental health struggles. She always wanted to help people that were going through the same things that she was. After she graduated high school in 2019, she was enrolled at a community college to study psychology that fall. So as I just said, she was a mental health advocate, and on May 1st, 2019, the first day of Borderline Personality Disorder Awareness Month, she posted the following on her Instagram account. Quote, "A lot of you know I've been diagnosed with this. It's a struggle I go through daily. I've come a long way in my progress. I can't be cured, but I can get control of my symptoms. We are not unlovable. We can have healthy relationships and are not manipulative. A lot of what we do we don't understand. I'm responsible for this stuff a lot. We are not evil. Our mental illness does not make us a bad person." So I thought that was important to add in here. I think BPD just in general is something that a lot of people don't understand. So I really appreciate her being so open and honest about her struggles with it.
It is cool to see people help out and have the same issues.
Yeah, and it's a shame because she has that passion. She really could have helped a lot of people. Bianca was very active online and on social media. She was only 17, so most 17-year-olds are. She seemed to be online a lot because she felt it was easier to communicate with people that way versus face-to-face. She created a persona for herself online, gained a moderate following on her 2 Instagram pages, which were ESCTY and BEEGTFO, which are still up.
Okay, and what's the time frame of this?
Pretty much everything that we're talking about happened early summer 2019.
Oh,
yeah, very
recent. Super recent. Okay.
On her Instagram page, her page was all kind of around this e-girl aesthetic. So for people that don't know what that is, like my father, who's probably listening, that's sort of an amalgamation of goth, emo, scene styles from the early 2000s. and is often inspired by Japanese culture, anime, and modern internet culture in general.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. She felt like she could be more confident and comfortable with herself when she was online. She felt socially awkward interacting with people face to face and dealt with sensory issues that could cause her to become overwhelmed very easily in social settings. So she used websites like Discord, which Gabe knows more about than I do.
I do. I would say I do. You do use Discord.
Me?
Yeah.
I only use it
Just
when
to
I'm
get
trying to get a hold of
if
you.
I can't find my phone or if I don't answer my phone, you're like,
Yeah.
hey, are you there?
That's the only, or if I'm like to check if you're online because I'm crazy.
Yeah, that's all right.
Discord is a chatting platform that features text and voice chat. And she also used 4chan, which I've never visited this website, but from what I can understand, it's a forum website and like Reddit, but not.
It's a lot more depraved.
Yes, yeah, good word. In May 2019, she met a person on Instagram named Brandon Clark, who was 21 at the time, and they started to talk regularly on Discord. Through conversation, they found out they lived quite close to each other, so they wanted to meet in person. She told her mother about this and agreed when her mom insisted on meeting him first.
Oh.
Bianca invited Brandon over to their home where she lived with her mom and sister and introduced everyone to each other. Kim Devins says that during this visit, Brandon was charming, normal, and polite. After meeting in person, Bianca and Brandon spent a lot of time together at Bianca's house and with her family. So much to the point that Bianca's sister described him as a close family friend.
Oh, wow.
Brandon and Bianca were close friends, and she knew Brandon liked her a little bit more than friends and wanted to be more than friends. But she told her mom that she did not have any intentions of dating him and that he knew that and respected it. Even so, Brandon did start to become obsessive towards Bianca and even referred to himself as her boyfriend sometimes, without her knowing, I believe.
Sounds like a good start to the story of a lunatic.
Yeah. The only source I could find for what I'm about to say here was Wikipedia, so I thought that was important to specify before I say it. Brandon would supply Bianca with drugs, so some of her friends were concerned because of Brandon's obsession with her and his behavior that he would try to take advantage of her while they were high on drugs.
Was there any specification to what drugs?
Nope, it was just...
Oh, so it's really,
Yeah.
It could have been anything. I'm sorry, but you were not confident in yourself or have healthy relationship if you're doing what this guy's doing.
Yeah.
With Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay. One, you're imposing yourself onto someone, trying to make things more than it is.
Yeah.
Either be friends with someone or accept the fact that it's just not going to be that way.
Yeah. Again, unconfirmed that they were doing drugs, but...
Wouldn't put it past them.
Right. Bianca's mom has said that her and her daughter, Bianca's mom and her daughter, Bianca and her mom, they were...
There we go.
They were really close. And they talked about this stuff, and her mom, Kim, would tell her, Bianca, if you aren't into him, you got to make it clear. You don't want to lead him on. And she was saying, I have, we're just friends. He knows that.
Okay, and another thing, too, even being in her position, being mentally unstable like that, maybe you don't have the capability to put your foot down with someone and be like, hey,
That's
if this continues, there won't be a friendship because
Mm-hmm.
you're not respected. So maybe that's something she wasn't able to do on her own either.
Yeah.
Even though, maybe that's what she wanted, she just wasn't capable of doing that. Which is sad.
Yeah. On July 23rd, 2019, Bianca and Brandon were going together to a concert in New York City, about 5 to 6 hours away from where they both lived near Syracuse. Oh, comment says, it wouldn't matter if she stood up for herself. We're talking about a literal child. This is entirely on him. I mean, yeah.
And that too. You're totally right. This is on him.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
The concert they were going to was Nicole Dollanganger. Have you ever heard of her?
What? That sounds oddly familiar. Did you say that the other day?
I think I might have asked you if you know who she is. Just
You did,
curious.
because you were like, have you ever heard of Nicole Dollanganger? And I was like, no. And you're like, okay, good.
Oh,
When I
did
asked you, I
ask
was
you
like,
that.
any hints about the story or something? And you said that.
So this girl, Nicole Dollanganger, I used a Stephanie Harlow video on YouTube for a lot of this research, and she was saying how she listened to this Nicole Dollanganger song, and she was like, I liked it. She's got a nice voice, but it's depressing music, and I wouldn't want my depressed daughter listening to this music, and blah, 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 blah. I like sad music. I like emo music. So I was like, I'd probably like it. I searched her name into YouTube, and this video came up that said, like, Nicole Dollanganger is Tumblr trash or something like that. And I watched the video, and it was all about how she kind of came up in the toxic Tumblr days, and she would share a lot of, like, dead body stuff. Just, it was actually pretty vile what this video was saying, how she was romanticizing murder, death, whatever, but to a degree that was, like, concerning. And there was this whole thing with that she was in love with her cousin, which was probably for shock value, but it's why. And I was just like, wow. And I did listen to one of the songs. I would kind of like this if I didn't have all this other information about what she's doing behind the scenes. If you're interested, look up her name. It was like one of the first videos that came up. Watch it. It's not a long video. And I mean, I'm a pretty forgiving person, but it was some pretty disturbing, vile stuff that she was talking about.
Yeah.
But again, not really the point, because whatever. We might not be Nicole Dollanganger fans. Bianca sure was. This was going to be her first time going to a concert by herself. She was so excited for the show and spent the whole day getting ready and trying on outfits for her mom. She ended up wearing a black tank top, black and white skirt, black Vans, and a black velvet bag.
Whoa.
Yeah.
She's decked out. She was ready to go to the Dollanganger show.
Around 2:30 p.m., Brandon picked her up. Before she left, her mother told her to be safe, have fun. They hugged each other, told you I love you. And during the car ride, Bianca sent pictures to her mom over Snapchat with updates of their trip and photos of the scenery.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a good example of how close they were, that they were Snapchatting, you know?
Right.
Now, even though Brandon and Bianca were going together to the concert, didn't mean they were going together to the concert. At least in Bianca's eyes.
Yeah.
In the days before the concert, Bianca was telling her mom that she was going to meet another boy at the concert named Alex that she was friends with online.
Oh.
And the only reason her mom was okay with Bianca meeting someone that she herself had never met was because Brandon was going and she trusted him. It can be assumed that Bianca was, of course, open to a potential romantic connection with Alex.
Yeah.
I believe Brandon did know about Alex. He might have even been friends with him or chatted with him in the Discord server or whatever. But Brandon was not necessarily aware of Bianca's romantic interest in him.
Oh, no.
So the trio met up at the club where the show was being held, drank some alcohol, smoked a little MJ, and by all accounts, enjoyed the show. On the ride home is where things start to go to the left.
Yeah.
Brandon found out that at some point, unbeknownst to him, during the concert, Alex and Bianca had kissed.
Uh-oh, smoochy smoochy.
So again, he didn't see it with his eyes. I don't know how it got brought up. Somehow he found out on the ride home. Bianca and Brandon were arguing about this, and at the same time, she was writing to her friend, who we will call Kat, on Discord about the situation. So these messages were from a little before 5 a.m. Bianca says, "He smells so nice, LOL." And she's talking about Alex.
Yeah.
Kat, I don't know if she knew Alex in person or if she was just online friends with him, but she knew him in some way.
Right.
So Bianca says, "He smells so nice." Kat says, "Sniff." So she says, "Sniff. Is he still super awkward?" Bianca said, "No, haha, he's perfect. I'm in love." Kat says, "Is he still being shy or talkative?" Bianca says, "Shy, but he smiled, smoked, haha, we held hands. My friend is so mad. He saw us kiss. I kissed him twice."
I know this might come off the wrong way. I hope it doesn't. But it's like, if you know this guy likes you, and you had plans on doing this with that guy, Alex, okay, now he did come and pick you up to take you to this concert, and it's like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and now I'm reading this message again. She says he saw us kiss.
He saw
so
us.
Maybe
she did try and hide it, but at the same time, it's like, how would you expect the guy not to get feelings hurt? I mean, yes, he should be an adult about it.
Well, Brandon was not being mature about it at all.
As I probably figured.
He took a picture of the road while he was driving and posted it on his Instagram story with a caption saying, quote, "Here comes hell. It's redemption, right?" Which apparently is a song lyric from the band Hollywood Undead, who
I'm sorry,
personally I am not a fan of.
that is cringy.
And he also posted a picture from the movie Fight Club, but it didn't say what exactly the picture was.
He is quite the edgy guy.
Yeah, edgelord.
Wow.
Well, just put a pin on that. At some point, Bianca had laid down in the back seat and went to sleep. What happens next, they were in the city of Utica, okay? Brandon woke her up and started physically assaulting her and eventually slit her throat, almost decapitating her.
Jeez.
He left her body in the car and started calling his friends and family members, including Bianca's own family. I don't believe he actually spoke to any of them at the time, but some reports said that he did try calling them. He seemingly intended to live stream the event, and while he did record much of it, he did not broadcast it. He did, however, post pictures and videos of Bianca's dead body on his social media accounts and sent the same content to friends and family members. So here's some of the... I'm gonna describe some of the captions and...
Yeah.
Okay, so he sent a photo of Bianca's body to the Discord server they were all in with the caption, quote, "Sorry, effers, you're gonna have to find somebody else to orbit. We will get a little bit more into that later." Another photo showed him standing over Bianca's body with the caption, quote, "I'm sorry, Bianca." A photo of him holding the knife with blood-stained clothing and a caption of, quote, "Thanks to everyone who was good to me. I'll miss you all." He also changed his Instagram bio to reflect his birthday and that day, followed by, quote, "Just know that I feel no pain now." When users in the Discord server he posted the images to asked if they were real, he said they were taken in his car, and said, quote, "I F Bianca," which I don't understand what that means. There were no reports of sexual assault or anything like that. His final message in the server was, quote, "Anyways, remember to subscribe to PewDiePie."
Oh my gosh.
So for people that don't understand what that means, I'm just going to explain it real quick. This is a shout out to you, Dad. I know that you probably don't know who PewDiePie is. PewDiePie is a YouTuber. His real name is Felix. He's Swedish. I'm not going to try to say his last name because it's hard to say. He is the most subscribed to personality on YouTube. He became famous for video game content, came under massive fire several years ago for his edgy humor, which included the occasional racial epithet and anti-Semitic remarks.
Yeah.
Felix has since condemned these jokes, apologized, claimed they were bad jokes, but are not reflective of his personal beliefs. Regardless, many members of white supremacist communities have attempted to attach themselves to PewDiePie. When Felix's subscriber count was surpassed by another channel, his fans from all corners of the internet turned the phrase "subscribe to PewDiePie" into kind of like an internet meme. Took a dark turn when white supremacists like the perpetrator of the Christchurch shooting in New Zealand, who live streamed the shooting, said "subscribe to PewDiePie." So a little bit more about Brandon. He was involved in online communities for an offshoot of incels called dark cells. So
I just want to say real quick, this guy is just an unsavory individual.
Wait till you see a picture of him.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will explain what an incel is, but dark cells are essentially the same thing as incels, but with a darker twist, edgier.
Whoa.
As described by themselves, get ready, this is long, quote, "We are not incel. We are the next evolution and solution to the inceldom and mankind in general. We represent the next paradigm shift in thinking. We are the true enlightened. We are none of those cookie-cutter right-wing, left-wing, centrist ideologies. We are beyond such childish concepts. To be dark cell is to know there is no light in the tunnel of life. There is only darkness, and as dark cells, we tame the darkness and forge our own destiny. We are the ones who will tame the shadows and become destiny itself. We will give birth to a new world order, a true age of enlightenment. We are the personification of death to the old." So that's like literal word vomit. So many big words used to say absolutely nothing.
And I know you had that all by memory, which
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So now we have a crystal clear picture of what dark cells are. Let's talk about what incels are.
Yes, please.
So incels, for those who don't know, are a community of almost always men. There are femcells, though. I found out while researching this.
I didn't know that. Wow.
They describe themselves as involuntarily celibate. They believe the only reason they do not have long-lasting or substantial relationships with women is because they are disenfranchised, whether it is due to social, genetic, circumstantial, or other factors.
What other obvious explanation would there be of why they can't? Nothing else makes sense.
Incels generally view women who are referred to as, quote, femoids, which I thought was hilarious, as lesser than men. It is understood that in incel culture, there is an underlying violent threat towards women, and there have been members of the incel community who have committed violent acts, such as sexual assault, mass shootings, and other acts resulting in serious and even lethal consequences, inspired by the incel doctrine. One you might have heard of is the Elliot Rodger mass shooting. I forget what college. It was a college in California. Incels are generally closely associated with alt-right, white supremacist movements. Incels have, quote, taken the red pill, which is, ironically, a reference to the movie The Matrix, which was written and directed by trans twin sisters Lana and Lily Wachowski as a trans metaphor. So taking the red pill in incel culture means that they are the ones who have the clarity to see that their beliefs about the world and society are accurate. This is that men, usually white men, are truly better than women, and that modern social progress should be reversed. So real quick, shout out to the YouTube channel Fundy Friday. They were talking about something completely different, but they really described incels very well in that video. So shout out to Fundy Friday. Another terminology used by incels that we heard earlier is orbiters, who are usually men who worship girls online, such as bloggers, influencers, streamers. Orbiters have an end goal in mind of eventually being with the girl they're idolizing. Brandon was a moderator of a Facebook group called Dark Cell Gaming, and in this group he posted a selfie with the caption, "This may be my final post. They're coming for me and I have done something very, very terrible. I am sorry." As discussed before, Bianca was very active in many different communities online. Even though she was only 17, she had been dealing with online stalking and harassment, specifically from incels, for at least 2 years. Around 2 hours after Bianca's final Discord conversation, Brandon was apprehended by police after being flooded with 911 calls reporting the images online and from Brandon's loved ones who were concerned with his phone calls. The police even received a call from Brandon himself where he says, quote, "My name is Brandon. The victim is Bianca Michelle Devins. I'm not going to stay on the phone for too long because I still need to do the suicide part of the murder-suicide." During this time, he continued to take selfies and more disturbing pictures of Bianca and himself. He wrote a suicide note that said, "May you never forget me."
Ugh.
Police arrived at Post Street in Utica, New York to find Brandon lying on a tarp that was covering Bianca's body. So he was essentially lying on top of her body. When police approached, Brandon immediately started to stab himself in the neck repeatedly. This was while the police were there, and while Brandon was actively stabbing himself, he was taking selfies and posting them to Snapchat.
What?
Brandon was unfortunately rushed to the hospital and survived his own attack. He was swiftly arrested
Did you say unfortunate?
Yes. He was swiftly arrested and charged with the second-degree murder of Bianca Devins. So here I want to explain a little bit the difference between first and second degree, because you might hear, "Oh my God, second degree, what? That's so wrong." I do agree with you, but for those of you that don't know, essentially the difference between first and second degree murder is the presence of premeditation. So if it was premeditated, it's first degree. If it wasn't, second degree. Second degree murder is easier to try in court. It's a big reason why Casey Anthony is free right now, is because they charged her with first degree. I mean, there's a bunch of other reasons, but that's one of the biggest ones. I think that's why they charged him with second degree. Again, I don't agree with it. I think he should have been charged with first, but one of the reasons why I think he should have been charged with first-degree murder is because police found ropes, knives, among other tools that could have been used as weapons at the scene. The murder weapon was actually a butcher knife that he had kept hidden under his seat. And just a month before the incident, his internet search history report showed that he had been looking up how to kill someone, specifically involving the carotid artery in the neck, which is the main blood vessel.
How is that not premeditated? You don't really debunk that. That guy's despicable.
Well, he pled not guilty later that month.
Sure he did.
Brandon's father, Jason, actually came forward to formally apologize to the Devins family. We might be thinking, wow, maybe Brandon's father, Jason, is a good guy. Like, he's going out of his way to apologize to the family. He said that Brandon was raised right, but there was some dysfunction in their family. He didn't really go into what that dysfunction was, but I will. I'll do the honors. So, in 2010, when Brandon was 12 years old, his father accused his wife, Brandon's mother, of course, of infidelity. He physically assaulted her and then held her at knife point with a butcher knife for 10 hours, threatening to kill her and then kill himself. During those 10 hours, he was holding his wife hostage while in a standoff with the local SWAT team. Jason Clark was charged with felony assault, criminal possession of a weapon, unlawful imprisonment, and aggravated criminal contempt, as well as misdemeanor menacing, which is awesome, and obstructing governmental administration, and was sentenced to only 2 to 4 years in prison. And I think he only served 2.
Yeah.
We see a lot of similarities in what his dad did and what his son ended up doing. So I think that is very bold of him to come forward and formally apologize to the Devins family, and I think he should have kept his mouth shut. They don't need your apology.
No, he really should have. And, I mean, the comment, 10-hour hostage situation, that's how you raise a healthy young man.
Yeah.
No.
It's not said if Brandon was present during this, but...
I'm sure he was probably at home.
Probably was.
Probably was.
Well, we might be saying, wow, Brandon's mother went through a lot, which is valid, she sure did. But she is not the hero in this story either, because she continued to stand by her son's side and believed that the prosecution were wrongfully painting him as, quote, a manipulative monster, and that his search history was actually him researching how to commit suicide. So it's actually something that should be sympathetic, you know, researching murder.
That's bullshit.
He was researching how to kill himself.
Excuse my language, but...
Comment says, it was definitely a self-serving gesture, that apology, so he can justify in his brain that he's not at fault.
I think that's a great way to put that to you,
Yes.
because it's like, okay, yes, I will say, I think it was good to apologize to their family.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. But then you start defending your son, and then you're gonna coddle him.
Mm-hmm.
No, dude. I'm just saying, I'm all about the internet. I love it. It's
Yeah.
great. We're on it right now. But growing up and stuff, my parents set boundaries with me, like, because I was on the computer when I was younger, playing RuneScape,
Yeah.
but there were certain boundaries, and like they knew what I was doing on the computer. That whole incel, dark cell shit, that is just like a mental illness. There is no reason to think like that, and I don't care saying that. I will say that to anyone and stand by it. It's pathetic.
While in prison, Brandon was not lying low either. He was additionally charged with promoting prison contraband for having a shiv. Apparently, this is according to Kim Devins. I don't know how she knows this, so I don't really know the context, but the point is that apparently Brandon wrote to his friend, and in the letter he was bragging about the murder and talking about how it felt to take a life. And in the letter he also wrote about the reason why he killed Bianca, and that was because he couldn't stand the thought of Bianca walking out of his life. Which, I mean, we know that, but that was him putting it in words.
Okay, one, I've never been to prison.
Yeah.
But if I ever did, I'm not going to send a detailed letter of the crime I committed. Not even detailed, but saying, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I know how that felt to do that because I did that crime. I'm sorry, this guy is just... his character, his decision making. He's just a dumbass.
So Brandon did end up pleading guilty eventually and had a sentencing scheduled, but it was delayed due to COVID. And during that delay, he tried to withdraw his guilty plea. This was denied because of his admission to guilt. And Brandon was finally sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
Oh.
Quick shout out to some sources. I'm going to remember to leave these in the YouTube description. But I did use Wikipedia. I used the Stephanie Harlow video, Heavy.com article, a bunch of Syracuse.com articles, and SBS.com article. After Bianca's murder, her friends and family put on a vigil to honor her memory that was attended by more than 300 people. Many of Bianca's online friends attended, including Alex from the concert, who introduced himself to her family. This is a quote, I think this is just a quote from the Syracuse.com article. In the service, they talked about her beautiful heart, her love for the color pink, and her passion for cats. One of the family cats, Belle, had just died, and in a rose gold casket decorated with pink and white flowers, Bianca was buried with the cat Belle's ashes. Okay, unfortunately, a lot of bad people on the internet, I was going to call them trolls, but that's not even the right word, obtained the photos posted of Bianca. There was also a big controversy because these awful, inhumane photos remained on his Snapchat for like the full 24 hours. They did not get taken down from Instagram for like 2 days. So a lot of people saw this. Some especially heinous individuals even sent these images to her family members with disrespectful messages. I will not even give you an example, but just imagine the worst thing you can think of, and that's what her poor mother and sister had to read. And I'm
certain the group of people sending those messages to her family and pictures are probably a bunch of dumbasses who call themselves incels.
It gives me such pain, like physical pain, to think about that. Like, I just want to devolve into a puddle of tears right now. Her mother said Bianca is so much more than those photos. She's much more than her death. She's much more than a murder case. She's an artist, a sister, a daughter, a friend, and her bright light was taken entirely too soon. I'm kind of getting emotional right now. Bianca's stepmother, Kaylee, expressed the family's outrage towards people sharing the pictures of Bianca's body. She said, quote, "Imagine sitting there in disbelief and praying to God that this is all some mistake and that your baby will walk through the door any minute. Now imagine seeing those pictures and having everything in you break. Imagine not being able to yell out and scream and cry because your soul has just now been broken. Instead of repeatedly sharing and saving these sick pictures, report them so they can be taken down. Instead, post about what a beautiful young woman she was." Another quote from the stepmother, "Bianca was a lot of things to so many people. She was young, beautiful, and so full of life. She had been through hell and back, conquering her own mental illness, and she won. She was getting better, fighting every day. She was happy. She had just graduated. She wanted to continue her schooling so that she could help people like her, whom no one else wanted to help. She was so loved, and it breaks our hearts not knowing if she ever realized how loved she was. Even in her deepest, darkest, lowest points, she somehow managed to help so many people who were battling their own demons." Just couple more quotes from family friends from Facebook. "Bianca was a beautiful person inside and out. She was such a fighter and accomplished what she needed to. She was such a beauty," which, I mean, we're going to look at pictures. She is gorgeous. She is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
Gorgeous eyes and bright smile. She could light up the room. "I got sick to my stomach and the pics scared me, but all I can think of is how beautiful and how full of life she was, how bubbly and caring. She was an amazing person and still is, regardless of what happened, and I will always remember her for that. So thank you, Bianca. Rest in peace."
Usually I do feel sad after this one. Of course, they're all sad. Mm-hmm. All these stories are sad. A lot of the times, usually the emotion that comes with this is just disgust. Mm-hmm. It didn't have to be like that.
It's so upsetting. And this one, like said, I was getting emotional there. Really, this one really hit me hard.
Let's look at
Tavia says, "I came here to make fun of evil people. This is just sadness. I know, I'm sorry." But now we can make fun of the evil person.
And now we can make fun of them because I think I already saw a picture.
Comment says, "There's a certain something to someone who is actively improving themselves and working towards being a better person, just being ripped out of the world for no reason." And she struggled. She went through a lot. It's just awful.
Coward, but we are going to look at some pictures. So, let's check them out. So that's Bianca.
Yeah.
Super pretty girl. Ah, yeah, she's gorgeous, man. Now, can we look at the chud who committed this?
Brandon Clark is his name.
Brandon Clark. Oh my gosh, dude. Not even musical artist. Or musical
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. He had it's so irrelevant to not only the story, but just in general, but he did have some music.
I mean, I can already tell right now, first of all, dude, what the what is going on with your hair? You foolish fool.
And he's our age. He was born the same year we were.
What?
Yeah.
That's him?
Yeah. This is his father. I feel like we're allowed to make fun of his looks because he's evil.
I'll make fun of everything about him, dude.
But it's like, if your hair has gotten to that point, just shave it off.
Just
dude.
shave it off.
Just shave
Just
it.
what an incel would be. Look, oh my gosh, dude. He just looks like, this is like the cover picture for what incels are.
Yeah. How dare you think that you could get with this gorgeous girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who, again, is 17. She's a child. But...
And is 17, and you're 21, and you're on Discord being a creep. Loser. It doesn't have to be that way, man. I don't know. I hope
these people are now.
I hope if someone ever finds himself, even if you're listening, if you think you're an incel, you're not. Don't do that. You're better. You're better than that. Here's a PSA from me. Mm-hmm. Better than that. Yeah. That is foolish. Go get some help. Go talk.
Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
Seriously.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
That's a message to all.
That is
incels.
A message to anyone that has ever been like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm an incel. Well, Olivia, thank you so much for bringing us your research and your story today.
Thank you. I'm sorry to bring everybody down a little bit, but
it's not,
but don't think of it that way.
No, not at all. If anything, I mean, this guy's getting what he deserves.
Yeah.
He's not getting out.
Bianca's light, it still shines on.
That's right.
So
that's right. Rest in peace.
And her family is making sure of that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll do the same. Not even hearing about this, that's terribly sad.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you guys so much for the support, listening. It means a lot. We're having a great time doing this. You can catch us on Twitch on Saturdays and Sundays around 8:30, 9 p.m. EST. If you want to see the live show, it's pretty exciting. Come hang out and talk to some people.
It's twitch.tv/Stefanuchis. That's STEFANUCHIS.
Boom.
And if you follow our Instagram, we always post when we go live. Our episodes get posted Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Thank you guys so much.
All right. Bye. We'll see you next time.
See ya.